Oops.
Nice.
Hello, I'm Freeman Presson. Thank you for watching the premiere episode of the Sips and Stars pod. We're recording at about 6 o'clock on Tuesday, August 5th. We're at Books, Beans, and Candles in Birmingham, Alabama. Where I provide astrology and I Ching reading services. My co-host is Olivia,
Hello.
a client, student, and friend of mine. My mentors in the business told me, don't make your clients into friends. And I was thinking, yeah, right. That meant sure. Right. It's like I got control of that, you
I'm
know.
a student. I like to think I'm a graduated client.
There you go. You know, I've never had the feeling that I control who I fall in like with or in love with. So, All right.
All right.
Olivia.
Hello, I'm Olivia. Obviously student of Freeman, client of Freeman, et cetera, et cetera. Um, let's see. Uh, Client, student, friend of Freeman. I told you I was gonna go off script. Listen. Um, and yes, we've got time and date, Birmingham, Alabama, at Books, Beans, and Candles on Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard. Um, so did you want me to give the little blurb for Sips and Stars? Or
yeah, you do that.
have we done that? Okay.
Why
Oh
not?
gosh. Um, so Sips and Stars is a monthly meetup here that we do on the third Friday of every month.
She named it.
I did name it.
Yeah.
Um, third Friday of every month, starting at 6 p.m. going to about 8, when the shop closes. Um, let's see. Yeah, it's a free meeting. We come up to the meeting room, we have tea and just discuss astrology, current astrological events, transits, that sort of thing. Take a look at example charts and just kind of openly discuss astrology. Um, Ask questions and discuss various topics. Um, yeah, so we usually start with Freeman talking about the current cosmic conditions, then look at volunteer charts to see where they hit. You can see how to do this for yourself using astro.com or your own software if you have it. That's where you can download your birth chart if you wanted to bring it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you have your birth time, date, and place, then and you want to have your chart looked at in public, um, then we usually maybe a couple, take a couple of volunteers and look at their how they line up against the current space weather and just kind of discuss, and I end up explaining this and that, and um, hopefully showing people how to do some of this stuff for themselves. Although, I'd rather you just come see me, get consultation, and be an astrological dependent. But a lot of people are curious about how to do it, so you could do both. Anyway, um, so my first thought about what to do in the podcast was, well, we'll just give like a preview. We'll do like we would in the meeting, and then it occurred to me that it'd be a lot more interesting to just pick a topic of general astrological concern each time. So this time, decided to go with the effect of oppositions in the birth chart. And a good part of the rationale for starting with oppositions is that both Olivia and I have powerful oppositions that really kind of drive the way we interact with the world. Um, okay, an opposition is just what it sounds like. It's two planets, or sometimes a planet and a point, but from now on, I'm going to speak as if it were always two planets, just to keep things simpler. Uh, Two planets that are on opposite, very close to opposite degrees in the zodiac. What does that do? That divides the zodiac wheel into two. So yeah, if it would help you to understand it at a deeper level, if you knew something about, we'll say, Hellenistic numerology. So, if you read a book like The Theology of Arithmetic. Um, so conjunction is two planets very close together. Olivia has one of those involved in her opposition. So um, two planets very close together doesn't divide the circle. So it's different from other aspects. And in fact, the ancients didn't consider it an aspect at all. It was a different sort of thing to them. It was a bodily joining. Then, the opposition divides the circle into two. You know, a so-called trine, where right?
So your 3 points are at a
Yeah,
triangle, right?
right. It's like
With houses between them.
they're at two vertices of an equilateral triangle.
Yeah.
So you're dividing the circle into three, and then there's squares, just what they sound like, 90 degrees apart, and sextiles, half a trine, 60 degrees, two signs apart. And there are a bunch of other named aspects, which I mostly don't use. Every once in a while, I will say something about a quincunx, which is dividing the zodiac into five, because it's a modern aspect, which its defining characteristic is that, well, it's not an aspect. It doesn't act like an aspect. It acts like a uh, emphasizing the fact that the two planets in question can't see each other. It's like,
It's almost the opposite, the distinct absence of an aspect.
yeah, it's the aspect that's the absence of an aspect. It's like they're intending, like it's like they're snubbing each other. It's more like they're snubbing each other than just accidentally. If they're in adjacent signs, they accidentally can't see each other. But they're quincunx. It's almost like they're going, oh, like they're cutting each other. That was the term.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all right, we're actually going to start by talking about the major aspect in my chart because it'll be a little simpler to talk about. Um, I am, if you can't tell, Aries Sun. And back when I didn't know any more about astrology than, what you get out of a horoscope column or whatever, I thought, it's really funny. As an Aries, I'm supposed to be this forceful guy who's always, leading and pushing and instigating and so on. But it's more like I start to do that. And then I go off into kind of a never land of concerns about, is this fair to everybody? Is this, how is this going to work? I don't want to offend anybody. So when I got seriously enough into studying astrology that I was looking at my own chart, where I'll start with our own charts because that's the one where we know what happened in the life, right? I had a good laugh at myself because right opposite my Aries sun, I've got an almost full Libra moon. And what I just described, being all concerned about fairness and equality and to some extent aesthetics and other Venus type qualities, is exactly what a Libra moon will do. And then later on, I was relieved because, and here I think is one of the points. This is why you study astrology, study your own astrology, go see an astrologer. Notice I mentioned that a lot. Go see the astrologer. Anyway, is because once I knew that I had that mechanism wired in, I started managing it instead of just bumping into it. Things got a lot better. Did you have anything? What did you notice about the?
I had kind of the opposite experience, but that is because my sun and moon are conjunct in Aquarius. So
Yeah,
I
and
have
this is
the opposite problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Now granted, as far as like reading daily horoscopes, the Aquarius stuff almost always was like, okay, that's a little relatable. Like that feels a little bit like a call out. But every once in a while the Pisces would kind of hit, and then obviously later found out my rising was Pisces and was like, oh, there it is. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's why you and I communicate so well. It's because
A lot of air.
yeah, airiness, but also there's the I've got sun moon opposition, you've got a sun moon conjunction.
Hmm.
And yeah, yours is really close.
How do those interact?
Mine is really close.
Mhm.
And I think see every aspect is some sort of mixture of the characteristics of the two planets. And when it's a conjunction, they're so thoroughly mixed you have trouble telling which one's which. And in the case of an opposition, there's this there's a lot of information flow between them. They're pulling in opposite directions, but they're also like really seeing each other.
Mhm.
They've got great visibility, and each has great visibility into what the other's doing. And then, so I really kind of think that people who have a strong mixture of sun and moon energies have more in common, have a lot in common, completely aside from what kind of aspect it's driven by. It's kind of like I don't know. I need to talk to some people who have no aspect between the sun and moon, and
Compare, yeah.
yeah, compare and
It's another good reason to
contrast.
come to Sips and Stars. You can see how different aspects or different aspects affect different people based on their own birth chart. It's good to have different points of reference for these because, like me, I can be told a thing, but unless I see the opposite of it or multiple examples of it, it's never gonna like sink in. Um, but yeah, that's just um my personal experience. Let's see.
Yeah, that's good. Um,
Ooh,
okay.
all
Hmm.
right. And then we're looking at your chart first.
Actually, I'm going to share my screen, and we're just going to jump right into yours.
Ooh, let's
If
go.
that's, you know,
Yeah.
that's enough. Yeah, that's enough for a little.
I would argue mine, even though it's got that conjunction in there, it is one personal planet and one outer planet versus two close personal planets.
Yeah, that's a really good, really good observation. Okay, now I've got to get. Okay. Huh. I was fiddling around before, so I don't have you set up here. All right. Yeah. All right.
Just a note, just because I'm chronically online and on TikTok, a lot of times I'll see people be like, astrologers, what are all these lines? What do all these lines mean? That's the aspects.
All
So
right. Yeah.
it will show you
Yeah.
like
Good point.
it just I see the question a lot, and obviously it's just people that want people to engage with them on TikTok. But if you did genuinely have the question, the answer is those lines that connect will show you the type of aspect that the relation between those planets or those points in your chart. So obviously Sirius has them color coded. I don't know exactly what it looks like. Reds are square. No, reds are trines.
Reds are squares and oppositions. The green ones are trines and sextiles.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So
So
the
if you're
smooth aspects versus the grinding
contentious,
ones,
yeah.
contentious ones. Yes.
So like what I see a lot on TikTok is people using CoStar. And that one is not color coded, so you'll have to actually look a little bit closer or use a different app, dare I say, than
Right.
CoStar.
Yeah. No kidding. Use anything. Yeah. Use
Literally anything else.
anything. Listen to Olivia. Use anything but CoStar.
Um, before we do the next podcast, I'll compile a list of some that have some of my preferred sites that you can pull up birth charts on. There's some other good apps and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't come prepared with a list, but I will next time of some that will actually show you some different information.
Yeah. In the meantime, just go to astro.com.
Yeah, astro.com does a good job of it
But
too.
yeah, I'm sure there's some that I haven't tried out. I'll be glad to see your list because I'm sure there's some I haven't tried that, since I have my own software, I'm not going out to the web a whole lot.
I've got one that you'll love. My only beef with it is that it defaults to Placides.
Most of them do.
I know, but it's a little bit of a pain to navigate because it's
Yeah.
so.
See, everybody pronounces it Placidus.
Mhm.
My hobby is pronouncing Latin words in reconstructed classical Latin pronunciation. So you will hear me call it Placidus.
Yeah,
But
I just mess it up every time. Um, yeah, it's a good app. clunky only because it has so much information on it, but it's relatively user friendly. So I'll send you that one later. In fact, actually, since I know I have it, I can go ahead and tell people. And you can also save your friend's birth chart so you can look at transits. It won't actually compare the transits against your chart necessarily. I think you have to pay for that feature, but the name of it is Time Nomad.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, Time Nomad is great. I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah. And the price is right, right? It's a
Yeah.
free app. Yeah.
Yes, for some features. I do think I have the paid version.
Yeah.
There's so much to it that like I haven't really even dug into it as much. Like if I go to me, I can't show. I'm not gonna, but I'll show you later. But
Okay. Yeah. Right.
yeah. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Okay. Now I'm going to start with. Okay, hold it. First, we're going to point out the conjunction in question is Neptune, very very close to Uranus. Um, yeah, within a degree. So that's a very tight conjunction.
Mhm.
And it's also, as Olivia pointed out, it's outer planets, it's the invisible planets, it's the planets the ancients didn't know about. So we as modern astrologers, contemporary astrologers, whatever, I guess I'm a traditional contemporary astrologer.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
that works.
I don't use much for modern astrology per se, but I do use the outer planets. And and in fact, it was the astrology podcast that converted me to doing
Mhm.
that. In fairly close opposition to Mars in the fifth house. Now, forgot to mention that. Oh yeah, our house polarities are the same too.
5 and
It's 5 and 11 for both of them. Okay. Fifth house is you take the house.
fifth house. Oh no, I forgot my notes. I can't remember everything in the fifth house. I know it typically deals with I remember pleasure being one of them. This is where I'm this is where the gaps in my memory tend to show. I know I have
Well,
notes here.
Venus has her joy in the fifth house.
Right.
That helps.
Um, so appreciation of beauty. I swear I have good notes here somewhere. Here we go. Or not. What's up?
Well, I mean,
Creativity,
oh,
romance,
yeah.
fun, enjoyment, children if you have them. Um,
Sex. Don't forget the S word.
sex. See, I always associate that with the eighth house, but I know that that's different. So like, right.
Why
Um,
would you want eighth house sex anyway?
right. I always remember the phrase being the house of sex, death, and taxes.
Yeah, I just call it death and taxes.
Yeah, that's probably a
But
better
there was a
summation of
period.
it.
There was a period of time
Um,
where sex was included in the eighth house because the seventh house is marriage, and so
mhm.
the eighth house is things that support marriage, like
Ah,
sex.
other
But
people with money, things
nowadays,
like
yeah,
that.
nowadays most of the sex we're having is not between married couples, and so yeah, hey,
It fits better in the fifth house.
it fits better. Okay, so as Olivia already cleverly pointed out, the outer planets in your chart are not personal; they're generational markers, right? Pluto takes almost 240 years to go around the zodiac. So it spends 20 years in each sign on average. Um, Neptune is around half that, 100, 140, 100 and something. And Uranus is a pretty good fit for human lifetime. Its orbital cycle is 84 years. So it's definitely they're mostly these planets are mostly talking about big trends in the world at large, and they have their effects on entire generations of people if you're just looking at them by themselves. But if they're activated by a personal planet in the natal chart or by transit, then uh, yeah, then stuff gets personal.
Mhm.
So
I like to think of it. I put it a fun way to a coworker today. Because a phrase that I heard that I really liked is if you think of the planets and what was it? The planets as players, the house as the field.
mhm.
And then I kind of extended that and I was like, okay, I think of as far as like interacting with the chart, necessarily on the grander scope of other stuff, but just as far as things being personal, if we're looking at my Alabama's about to show, if we're looking at a football game and the planets are the players, the outer planets, are the weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Uranus is coming through, you're dealing with a thunderstorm, it's not going to be fun. It's going to be doing some shit.
That's exactly right. A really good. Oh yeah, I can give you a quick keyword. I can give you a quick keyword on what the outer planets act like. Uranus Uranus is like lightning, um, for good or for ill. Okay, yeah, lightning can be very destructive, and a lot of the things that Uranus designates are disruptive, maybe destructive, and yet at the same time, it also indicates breakthroughs of all sorts. And I think that's a lot of what's going on as it relates to your chart. Neptune is kind of like, you can think of Neptune as being like the ocean, which makes perfect mythological sense, but really, it's the cosmic ocean. It's Mother Night. You can associate Neptune with Nyx, with no loss of generality. So that's why it gets it. That's part of why it gets its reputation as being a planet of a planet of confusion and disinformation and so on.
I think of
Why?
like dreams and metaphors
Yeah.
and like stuff like that, mostly because there was a time when I had like 3 or 4 people in a friend group chat that were suddenly like, "Hey, I've been having some really weird dreams lately." And I was like, "Let me just look." And of course, not Uranus, Neptune was passing through something for a couple of them. And I was like, "That's probably why." But that,
Yeah.
and like the difficulty of dream interpretation, like, oh, the meaning is there, but I'm having trouble actually parsing it out with logic.
Well, that's a really good example, and it leads right into my point about Neptune is that whatever it's doing in your chart, it's a gateway to the beyond, and you get downloads through that.
Yes, the download from, yes.
And
Yeah.
frankly, most of us, most of the time, are not prepared for that.
It's your USB cord to the cosmic egg.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, so we get it wrong. We're only once in a while are we really attuned where we're going to get the actual message that was intended. Most of the time we just get our minds blown. Anyway, and that's the human condition. We're not going to be blaming any planets for that. Mars now. So so that conjunction shows up in Olivia's life.
Oh, I don't think we talked about the 11th house.
Oh
We talked
yeah.
about the planets
Oh
in the
right,
fifth
right.
house.
Okay, yeah. Good point. 11th house is social house.
Mhm.
It's also a house of uh it's also a house of what you want. Um, but it's primarily viewed as social groups, circles of friends.
Larger socials like community and
Yeah, exactly. Um,
social causes.
right. Yeah. So this would okay. Now, your Mars, interestingly enough,
Mhm.
being opposite that, Mars is your masculine energy,
Mhm.
your um your get up and go.
My fight.
Where yeah, where Venus is how you attract what you want.
Mhm.
Mars is how you go out and get it.
Mhm.
In a lot of cases, Mars and Venus are an interesting pair of opposites.
Right.
Um, now, I think when you had your consultation long ago, but not far away, it was probably right here, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Um, we didn't get much into the planetary condition of your Mars. In fact, probably didn't get into a whole lot of planetary condition at all. Mars is in a
Well, I think
very strange situation here.
because it's either in detriment or in fall in Cancer, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, that it's in a sign ruled by Venus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's in a sign ruled by the moon, and it's in the bounds of Venus, which means it's constrained to act in venereal ways.
Mhm.
Does Mars know how to do that? Not very well. Now, Mars and Venus have a very interesting relationship, and in some of their configurations, you can kind of imagine, you can definitely imagine Venus taking the other hand, upper hand, Venus and furs. So Venus and Mars together, yeah, there's probably very few limits to what kind of kinks they might get up to, but probably outright feminization is one of the things, is probably one of Mars's hard limits.
Mhm.
So he's got real difficulty here expressing himself. And this might be why I get the impression, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
but you're inherently a very creative person. And sometimes you pick up something and carry it through. And a lot of other times it's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to do this great creative thing. And then you get into it and it's like,
Immediately fizzle out.
and, and I don't know how.
100%. 100%.
That's, that's
It doesn't
more.
fizzle so much as like full on stall.
Yeah, that's margin detriment. And
Yep.
Venus is over there. Um,
Especially in that house of creativity.
yeah,
Jeez Louise.
one of the many reasons that Olivia is a completely lovely human being is that she has that very, very dignified Venus in her first house. So she's like always expressing uh, generous, kindly, generally attractive characteristics.
Oh, gosh.
And but then, Mars just ain't helping.
No.
So, hey, I'm gonna quickly read. All right, this is a great book, The Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler. Okay, it has got a rundown of interactions between all of the possible pairs and some of the triples of planets, and it's from a general archetypal way. So you have to treat it as like, oh, this isn't telling you how to read a particular configuration in the chart exactly. It's giving you background on what the archetypal energies are up to. Okay, so I want to just do this. I want to just read this paragraph on the principles of Uranus Neptune interactions. Revolutionary changes in consciousness, an exciting rebirth of vision and idealism, feelings of cosmic unity and compassion, transcendence in every direction, the open universe. Also, tendencies toward escapism and fantasy, hyperstimulation by imagery, wishful thinking, and lack of discernment. Religious and spiritual extremism is what he says. Now, honestly,
Oh, God. Yeah.
I think a lot of people would call what we do spiritual extremism because
Yeah.
because they're too scared to try it.
Right.
But that's kind of what it means. That's kind of what it means for the world at large, for people born in 93 plus or minus a few years. It's in full effect. And it's got Olivia chasing rainbows,
Truly. Yeah.
but it will someday bring her to full and perfect enlightenment. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We can only hope.
What else do you think about it?
I don't know. That pretty much sums it up, at least my experience with it. Um, yeah, 100%.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Um,
so let's move on. If
yeah.
this is interesting, oh, what is it Chris Brennan would say? He'd say, "Sure, yeah, right."
Sure.
Okay, if this is interesting, come see us on August 15th and every third Friday
Mhm.
at Books, Beans, and Candles. That's at 1620 Richard Arrington Boulevard South in Birmingham, Alabama, up on the hill. You go toward Vulcan, but turn off before you get there. You're coming up to
It's
well,
right at the curve, the Y in the road at
yeah, Yes, it's not far
just
from
past 5 Points.
that Y in the road, and they turn Vulcan, so if you're driving in from Homewood, you're not staring directly at his butt. That was kindly of us, I guess. And and the front's covered by an apron because because he's God of the Forge, and
Right.
and because the sculptor was a big chicken. But anyway, okay. Um, all right.
Oh,
So
before we get too close to wrapping
Mhm.
up, the actual conjunction, because we discussed these two things in the 11th house and then Mars in the fifth. So, like, how does not conjunction, good grief, the opposition of those two, what does that interaction look like?
ah,
Or did I miss it?
um, oh, you completely missed it. I
Oh,
did like 5 minutes on it.
oh,
You were dreaming.
probably.
You were dreaming. You were off in your Neptune world.
Accurate.
Nah, there we go. Um, yeah, I think what I touched on was what I touched on. Oh, sorry. What I touched on was this tendency of Mars to give you uh, a lot of ideas about creative stuff to do,
Hmm.
and then have a lot of it fizzle out because Mars just can't do Mars stuff.
Right.
Uh, and actually, if you're going to have Mars in opposition to um, Uranus and Neptune together,
Mhm.
I think it's probably just as well that it's not a strong Mars. This could be blow up in your face stuff if this was a
Gotcha.
high powered Mars, but it's a Mars in negotiating mode. But
Okay.
it's Mars is looking for breakthroughs and looking for insight, which I think we do more of when we're in detriment. When we're not feeling at home in the world,
Mhm.
wherever we are, we're like we're looking for something different. We're looking to will escape. Ren Butler said, there's a tendency to escapism here, and that's definitely always going to happen with personal planet opposite or conjunct Neptune. Yeah, there's going to be a tendency to want to just go. Let me just be off here somewhere.
So this opposition kind of plays into itself, is what you're saying. Like these are kind of not causing each other, but
But yeah, at the same time, I think it's an important clue to your overall direction in life.
okay.
You know, I think I think the challenge here is for you to cut through the bullshit and
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want to make
find
him about
some
my chart, but I was,
some real insight and a real spiritual breakthrough.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and yes, I believe in you.
So these oppositions are not necessarily fighting, but
Yeah, they're polarized.
mhm,
Um,
they cast a light on each other.
yeah,
Is that kind of a,
cast a
okay,
very strong light on each other.
okay,
In my experience, it seems like the opposition is like a really high bandwidth aspect.
gotcha.
The it's like you got the two tin cans with the tight string between them. It's not
Gotcha.
if you had your can and string thing going around a corner, it would be communication wouldn't be very good. It's in like resting against the
Yeah.
corner of a house or something. Nah.
So
So
opposition's a bit of a misnomer. These things are not, they're in opposition, but they're not in opposition to each other.
yeah, but they can be.
Yeah.
They can be fighting, but most of the time it's more like it's more like yeah, they're pulling in opposite directions, but it's not as much of a knockdown drag out as the sources make it sound.
It's tension.
It's a tension,
Okay.
like squares are another tense aspect. Um, okay,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay. That's
all
what I
right,
just wanted to make sure I had a good grasp of the.
yeah, that was good. Okay, so to book a consultation with me,
Mhm.
text me at 205-724-9449, and we can set up a time. Birth chart readings are $120 for a full hour. I'm usually kind of sloppy about the time. If we need a little more than an hour, we take it. I also do I Ching readings, the Chinese oracle. I Ching is wonderful. I Ching always gives such great advice. Uh, the charge for that is the same as tarot. So, you know, $30 for 15 minutes and so on. Yeah. All right.
I think so.
Um, next time I might throw in an I Ching reading sometime in the pile.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, Now, also, we have a psychic fair coming up in October 4th, Saturday, October 4th, 10 to 6 p.m. Essentially, just about all of the shop's readers will be there. I never miss one. I enjoy them a lot. I'll be doing little little teensy tiny astrology readings and I Ching readings. It's $15. You come in, you buy tickets, you sign up for time slots. Real simple. You go see your reader. You sit there for 10, maybe 12 minutes. We're supposed to be hurrying you along, so sorry about that in advance. But yeah, we really have to keep the traffic moving because this is a very popular event.
And these tickets are available by phone or in person. If you come by the shop, they're available now and they fill up quickly.
Yeah,
So,
they just put out the sign up sheets
mhm.
and yeah, they will fill up. Which reminds me, I should not leave today without going down there and Xing off my break time if I want any, because yeah, the last two psychic fairs I've filled up.
Mhm.
In fact, I even erased one of my breaks for a reading last time. Um, I was having so much fun. I said, "Nah, come on in. I'd rather have a reading than a break right now."
Yeah.
Um, so that's a great fun time, and it's I think it's one of the best. Um, I think it's one of the best events of its type. Although, you know, I've only been to a few others. Um, Also, let me know if you want to be notified of upcoming classes. I usually schedule one or two every year, and I'm trying to think about when the next one could be. You know, it's schedule TBD.
Intro to astrology classes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Astrology from the ground up.
Mhm.
It's my
That's right.
introduction to astrology. It's usually 6 hours, so we have we have sessions, 2 hour sessions on three consecutive weeks. Um, Three consecutive is usually it's usually Sundays. So I can come in Sunday afternoon and the next and the next. Uh, it's only $120 for the whole class, and you get an ebook, which is how's my ebook?
Fantastic. And also, yeah, as somebody who's taken the class, it is incredibly beginner friendly. I know astrology starting out can be really intimidating. There's a lot of elements to it. The astrology from the ground up class does a really good job of breaking down some of those elements. So it's a little bit easier to look at something like this, like a birth chart, and kind of pick things apart a little bit slower and take a minute to kind of understand what you're looking at. So it's not just kind of in your face, this awful, scary looking pie. Um, so I highly recommend it for anybody that's wanting to get started learning a little bit about astrology.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goal of the class is to take people from whatever beginner state they're in
Mhm.
to being able to look at a chart and go, okay, I know how to approach this. I know how to analyze it. I know I can dig in and find out what's really going on here. And it's fairly successful in that regard.
Mhm.
Okay. You got anything else before we go?
I think that's it. Did you want me to talk about other shop events, just random? We've got like TN Tarot first Friday of every month
That's true. Yeah.
at 6. Every fourth Thursday for now, but I think it is switching to fourth Mondays, I think, is MCP Magic City Pagans, and that's just kind of an open discussion
Oh yeah.
class. Um,
Ooh, I would make it to more of them if they were on Mondays. Okay.
that's kind of where I'm at. And these events are free. Sips and Stars, Tea and Tarot, and MCP are all free. You just show up, drink some tea, hang out. Um,
MCP has a long and storied history, which you know
mhm.
I'm not obviously not getting into it now, but you could corner me sometime. I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I think that's it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you,
All right.
Olivia.
Thank you, Freeman.
All righty.